um, okay, that was disappointing. My daughter's here coloring. She just asked, "What's a live stream?" So let me answer that. It is the time when Daddy commiserates about yet another. I wouldn't say heartbreaking, um, frustrating loss for the New York Knicks. One day we're gonna beat that team. I don't know when it's gonna be, but one day we will beat that team somehow. All right, so the Knicks lose a hard fought game, a well played game. Um, some players didn't shoot it well. They obviously made a couple of mistakes that you'd like to have back. The Fournier. I'm not going to kill Fournier for what ended up being a turnover. I didn't love the play call, to be honest, but what can you do? Fournier had a great game. Do you trust him to make the pass there? Made some great passes today. It was. I would argue this was one of his better playmaking games he's had as a Knick. Just you know, that's not really his forte there. But then again, that's part of why you go to him there, because you figure the Nets aren't expecting Fournier to make the pass, and certainly not to Mitchell Robinson. But listen, you what can you do? You don't have a lot of great options. I actually thought the Knicks in crunch time, compared to, as they discussed on the broadcast, compared to how they've done in crunch time this year, I think the Knicks actually played pretty well in crunch time. The Randall turnover you'd like to have back. RJ had a drive that was like, I thought he had it, there with a couple minutes left, I think it was. But this was a well played game. I thought the rotations were fine. We could get into some quibbles about that, as I'm sure we will. I thought Julius Randle was the best player of the game. I thought he really played. I thought he was, it was obviously his assignment for most of the game to try to take on Kevin Durant, him and RJ Barrett. Look, Kevin Durant's one of the 10 greatest players who ever lived. He had one of those sorts of games today. You weren't going to stop him one-on-one, but I thought Randall at times at least made him work. Randall or Kevin got his 53, but he took 37 shots to get it. You look at a guy like Kyrie, got 50 the other night on, I think it was 19 shots. So it took Kevin Durant almost double the amount of shots to get his 53 today. So, look, they made him work. And I thought on offense, I thought Randall played, I don't want to say brilliantly. I think he's had better games, but that's a version of Julius Randle you'll take every time. And yes, I understand there's still, those couple of plays on defense that you don't love. There's still, the couple of turnovers that you don't love, but I thought he played really well. Evan Fournier, look, again, it's the same thing, as Randle. You want it to be better. You wish it was better. But you can't complain about it. You can't complain about 25 points on 13 shots. His shot making early kept them in the game when the Nets came out 11-0. He had some massive shots. He had the three in, what was it, from the corner, I think, there late in the fourth quarter. That was just an absolutely massive shot. So really nice game by him. I'll throw a bone. Actually, no. Before I get to RJ, I'm going to throw a bone to Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims was the Knicks' best center today. Mitchell Robinson, I'm not going to say he played poorly, but wasn't Mitch's best game. There's a reason that Jericho Sims was out there in the fourth quarter. It's because he deserved to be out there. This kid is growing before our eyes. Whenever we talk about the Knicks kids and how we're excited about, RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly and whoever else you want to talk about, you got to throw in Sims there now. He's earned it. He deserves it. Played really well. Came up with a lot of 50-50 balls. Could he be better? Yeah, of course he could be better. He's a rookie. He's a second round pick for a reason. But he played a really good game, and I was really impressed with him. Plus 20 Sims in a game that I just noticed that. Plus 20 in a game the Knicks lost by 3. Says all you need to know right now. And I will get ahead of it. If someone hasn't already brought it up in the super chat, I'll bring it up now. I thought Tibbs' decision to go with Taj for like a 2-minute stretch at the end of the second quarter well, it wasn't till the end of the second quarter because he realized his mistake and he brought Sims in. I'm not going to say that cost him the game, but there were 7 offensive rebounds in that 2-minute stretch, 2.5 minute stretch, including 6 on 2 possessions in under 90 seconds of game time. That I don't think that happens with Sims. And then in there, and Sims was also a beast, again around the glass on the offensive end all night long. So not a great job there. Overall, I thought Tibbs coached a good game. I didn't have any other issues with anything. I mean, quickly played 25 minutes. He was 2 of 10. Wasn't really his night. People will probably get on Deuce McBride for only playing 11 minutes. Like, listen, I know he was a plus 13. That is one of those stats that I feel like is a little deceiving because just right now, for whatever reason, at the pro level, and I know he's been killing it in G League. This is a different animal. And he just doesn't look comfortable as an offensive player, and it's really hard to run an offense when your nominal point guard or whatever you want to call him in those lineups, your nominal shooting guard, whatever he is, just doesn't really feel comfortable doing anything with the ball. Doesn't feel comfortable shooting it. That shot he put up from mid-range was like, oh my goodness. Like you could tell he didn't want to take it. So I don't personally mind that McBride only got 11 minutes. Toppin's first game back, played 8 minutes, hit a couple of big threes, obviously. I'm sure people will quibble about that. But again, it's like you had to have Randall out there. I don't know how you don't have Randall out there. I don't really have anything else. Oh, RJ. Yeah, that's what I was saving. I was saving RJ for last. Yeah, RJ ended up played 42 minutes, first and foremost. So big minutes for him. They needed them. 7 of 8 from the line, ironically enough. He wished he could have gone 6 for 8. He went 7 for 8. Tried to miss it there at the end. He didn't get the miss. Look, the shot wasn't falling for RJ tonight. He had the one big three on that ping, 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 boom possession. Other than that, he was 0 for 4, 8 for 21. Missed the shots around the rim weren't really happening for him. That's okay. You're gonna get those games. It's fine. I thought he persevered. I thought he did some other things well. And he had some big moments late, a couple of nice moments late. So that's really all I got. Could have won this game. I don't know if I want to say they should have won this game. It's tough to say you should win a game against Kevin Durant when he goes off for 51 or 53. But I'll say this one last thing. Their defense after a first quarter in which, just Durant was torching them, their defense picked up too. Like they're playing well now. And that's why it absolutely kills you. And we'll discuss, the postmortem on this season when the time comes, but it just kills you how this team completely fell off the cliff for all that time. And we don't have to talk about it right now, but it's like, yeah, another moral victory, maybe, okay, but great moral victory tonight, maybe a moral victory against Memphis. You want to talk about the Suns game. It's like at this point, it's 14 games left in the season. You're 5 games out of the 10th seed, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe all they needed was to rediscover how they, play well together, and that's more important than actually making the play. I don't know. I do know this. I'm happy they're playing better. It just sucks, to not get the win. So, I don't really have anything else other than that. Not time to hang your head, though. I'll say that. But of course, I'm sure others may disagree. Okay, Robert Cross starts us off from the sunny confines of San Diego, California. First time, long time, John. Is it fair and reasonable to say that Leon Rose wins Executive of the Year for drafting future All-Star Jericho Sims in the second round? Give him Executive of the Year this year, Executive of the Year next year, Executive of the Year. Just give him all the Executives of the Years. Sims is a steal. And I think it's now it's gotten to the point in the season where I'm forgetting what was reported and I'm forgetting what I heard through the grapevine. one or the other. Apparently, Brock Aller was really, and I think I've said this before. Brock Aller wanted to draft or had thoughts about drafting Sims with one of their 2 second-round picks, and ended up taking Deuce instead. Perhaps deferential to Tibbs there, and yeah, they got Sims late. I mean, it's a great pick. It's a great pick. And again, it's funny that you're, of course, making this comment, Robert. And I'm sure you are making it a little tongue in cheek because you're the guy who wants to pay Mitchell Robinson $20 million a year. I'm sure some fans will hear that and like, well, why not both? You know, I look. I don't know what's going to happen with the mid situation, but seeing a guy like Sims play like this and play so well. And again, this dude's making. I mean, he's making nothing. He's making no money. I mean, they'll lock him up. I'm sure. I forget what his contract situation, but if they want him for cheap for the next several years, they could get him for cheap. And I'm sure they will do that this summer. That'll be a priority. You know, it makes you again. These are all considerations that go into, do we want to pay our starting center, who is certainly better than Sims right now? It wasn't better today, but however much he's looking for. It's tough. These are tough decisions. There's no right, necessarily like definitively right answers. SB Gorilla, what's going on, man? Back for the first time, John. Can you say Jericho Sims? Yes, I can. I'm a huge fan of Mitch, but there is something really intriguing about Sims. Great effort. Yeah, and again, like, look, we know the reasons Mitchell Robinson didn't go to college. College ain't for everybody. Wasn't for Mitchell Robinson. Jericho Sims went to Texas. It was a good program for 4 years. There's like, I don't know, 6 months age difference between them. The dude, I think the guy, like, if standing vertical, I don't know what Sims standing vertical was at the combine. I have to think it was better than anybody else in his class, and maybe it's better than anybody else in the NBA. When that dude goes up to get a ball, holy shit, watch out. He throws it down. I mean, the lob from, I think it was RJ to, what was it, to start the fourth quarter? I mean, my Lord. He has a lot of physical ability. And I think when you combine that with, he does have some skill. That's exciting, and he's part of their core. I'm happy you shouted that out. Kevin Danishevsky, what's going on, Kev? Goddamn tough loss, but I'm so happy. I adore the Tibbs close with Sims. Me too. Kill the front office all you want, but we got that man with the third to last pick. I think he went 58. Yeah, again, all the praise in the world. I also thought Tibbs closed with the right lineup. You wish there was one more. You wish there was one more guy tonight that made shots. They just needed one more guy, and they got good. That's the tough part. Is like, Burks went 2 for 9. Those, like, he got good shots. Quickly went 2 for 10. Those were good shots. How often is Emmanuel Quickly going to go 0 for 5 in a game from deep? He went 0 for 5 tonight from deep. Like, he's been hitting those, and it was just an off night from him. If he makes 2 of those, they win the game. Barrett had a few of those around the rim that he could have hit. It's frustrating. They were close. They were really close. She could have won this one. Drew P, what's going on, Drew? Playing Taj, Burks, and Fournier lost us the game. Okay. I don't know about Fournier, and I also don't know about Burks. I mean, again, I just quoted Burks' stat line. Again, filled up the box score otherwise. 6 rebounds, 7 assists. And it's a lot of stuff that people want to ignore because they don't like him, which is fine. But, like, there was a play there in the fourth quarter where the ball caromed off a miss. It was a Nets miss. And, like, Burks darts in there. And he gets his hand on it, and he taps it out to a teammate. Now, that's not going to go down on the box score. But Alec Burks getting in there and, like, having quick thinking, timing, the whole thing, like, that prevented an offensive rebound for the Nets. Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. But he makes, I don't know how many of those plays every game. Like, again, we have to learn how to separate out our frustrations with, like, where this team is at and the fact that they don't have a point guard. And yes, Tibbs' decision to play him at point guard, which we've all been aggravated by. You have to learn how to separate that with, like, this is still a good player, and he's still a guy who helps you win games, even when he's not shooting well. That's the nice thing about Alec Burks. He's one of the few players on this team that can help them win games, even when he's not shooting well. And he wasn't the reason they lost tonight. So I disagree with you on Fournier, and I disagree with you on Burks. The Taj thing I've addressed already. Outside shooting, Fournier stunk. Minus 16. Like again, I really sometimes don't care for the game to game plus minus. Um, I didn't think he stunk. I thought he made some really nice passes. He found teammates. Again, there's not a ton of games out there you're going to find where Evan Fournier has 5 assists. He had 5 tonight. Thought he defended okay. And Burks let KD hit that dagger 3. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Burks had a brain fart there. He has a brain fart every game at some point. You take the good with the bad. That's what happens when you have a middling roster, an imperfect roster. I just don't know where else you wanted Tibbs to go there. If Quickly was hitting shots, I'd say fine. All right, but he wasn't. There's really, there's nowhere else to go. I'm like literally looking at the box score. I'm like waiting to see a name. Like, where's the name that's going to pop up? I'm like, oh yes, they should have gone to that person instead. It's hard. It's what happens when you have a middling team. That's injured. Kevin Danishevsky with one more. Thanks again, Kev. I think all I want to see is the Knicks playing good, watchable basketball down the stretch. Since the All-Star game, that's been the case. Keep it going. 100%. That's what I said it before. They're playing good ball. Positive net rating after the All-Star game. Their defense is back to being a good defense. Again, I've quoted it recently. I'll quote it again. They've played now probably close to 75% of their minutes on the season, 72, 73% of their minutes on the season without Walker on the floor. And they have a top 5 defense in those minutes. Is what it is. But yeah, they're playing better. Ryan Huang, what's going on, Ryan? Despite the loss of Randall and Evan Fournier raised their value enough this half of the season. Well, not if you listen to the last guy. Apparently, according to him, Fournier played terrible. On national TV to be big pieces in a star trade this offseason, as my daughter's doing leaps off of her little chair. Yeah, I don't, Fournier, everybody around the league knows what Fournier is. This is what he is. He's a volatile guy. He's hot and cold. Everybody realized the contract was probably $3 or $4 million a year too much, maybe a year too much. When they gave it to him, doesn't change it now. The difference is there's 1 year less year on the contract. So now you're looking at it and you're like, all right, do I wish we had Evan Fournier for 2 years and $25 million? Yeah, sure. Will we take him at 2 years and $38 million? Like, yeah, we're not banging down your door for him, but we'll take him in a certain trade. Now, what is that trade? That's more complicated. As for Randall, that's a whole nother can of worms. This organization needs to either decide that it wants to move in a different direction, because that would be a complete seismic change if they traded Randall, especially now that he's playing better. Can they do it? Yeah. Do they want to do it? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I know what I'd like them to do. And that's, I feel a little bad saying that. If you're asking me in my personal opinion, long term, is it better for the organization if Randall were elsewhere and they shifted course and got obviously another good player back in return, or a player in a draft pick or whatever? Like, yeah. But that's just me. And reasonable minds could differ. Jessica, what's going on, Jessica? How are you? I agree with Kevin. Closing with Sims was an excellent move by Tibbs. RJN, Redacted, and Evan all had pretty great games. A loss by only 3 to a team with KD. I can't complain. They played hard. They did play hard. We can complain a little bit. It's okay, Jessica. We can complain a little bit. Could always be better, But again, what's frustrating is it's like, these aren't the game. Like, yes, we'll look back on this if they missed the play-in by a game or 2 games or something, and I'm sure we may remember this, but this game is not why they're going to miss the play-in. All of the hellaciously bad games where they just look like a basketball team that didn't know how to play basketball. That's what kills you. Is what it is. Hannibal Miles, I'm worried that if Rose comes back, Alec Burks will still have 30-plus minutes. Nah, I don't think so. I mean, when Rose was in the lineup, Burks was pretty steady, averaging 25 minutes a night. I think that's probably where he'll stay. That said, I don't think you're going to have to worry about it. I don't know why everybody hates Alec Burks. I mean, I know why everybody hates Alec Burks so much, and I do admittedly have a soft spot for him, almost as much as I have a soft spot for Tibbs. But I don't know. There was a report earlier today that like Rose is still like like a week away or so from like physical activity or whatever they call it. Um, and then he needs to ramp back up. So like you're looking at minimum 2 weeks until Rose is back, and like now if they go out and they sweep the homestand, that's a different conversation. But I'll believe Derrick Rose suits up for this team when I see it. Haitian Ferg, lack of a point guard hurts us again in the fourth. It's like it's Groundhog Day. What else can you say? It's Groundhog Day. No disagreement. I love that Tibbs adjusted with the high double on KD. Yep. So again, we're not allowed to mention the good adjustments. We're only allowed to mention the bad stuff with Tibbs. Derrick Rose would have helped by making sure the fourth quarter possessions resulted in quality looks. Sims makes Robinson expendable. Ooh, that's coming in hot there. I don't know if he makes him expendable. Robinson's a good basketball player. And again, even if someone comes in hot with a crazy big offer for Robinson, that you're like, nope, we're out. We don't think he's worth that. We don't think he's worth anywhere close to that. It's still a bad job by the front office if they let him go for nothing. And that's why this has become such a dicey situation. That is front office malpractice if you let Robinson go for nothing. And at the same time, I kind of agree with you. I said at the top, having Sims here makes the whole conversation much dicier. But they've boxed themselves into a corner now where they may lose him for nothing if they don't re-sign him, and who knows what the number is going to wind up being. It's frustrating. And yeah, as far as Derrick Rose, 100%. I mean, that goes without saying that Derrick Rose. I mean, look, their record in clutch games this season is 13-22 now. Would it be 22-13 if they had Derrick Rose? Probably not, but it would be, probably 500. I don't know, something like that. Whatever it would be better with Derrick Rose. Yeah, we miss him. We miss him immensely. CT Pittman, what's going on? I just saw your pinned tweet, Andrew. Get those likes up for John using the word hellacious. I love the word hellacious. I use it a lot. And I use it in multiple. I'm drinking your water. What are you doing? I use it both in like many senses for anybody who reads my my newsletter. CT Pittman, what's going on, CT? Always great to hear from you. We played a team expected to win it all, down to the wire with this roster. Again, it needs to be said, no Quentin Grimes, no Cam Reddish, no Derrick Rose. I know I won't say no Nerlens Noel because we're all happy about that. But they relied on Nerlens last year. He was a big part of the team. Shh, gotta be quiet. Yeah, we did. Although that team didn't have Kyrie Irving, in fairness. Nice of Kyrie to show up at the end of the second quarter, by the way. What a guy. We are a few pieces and a point guard away from being a good team. # glass half full. Yeah, it's just a matter of where they're going to get that point guard. Sass, you got to be quiet. Come on. Love you. Always great to hear from you, CT. Bernard Richardson. What's going on, Bernard? Absolutely egregious for RJ to only touch the ball once in the final 5 possessions there. Randall not wanting to give up the ball, or Tibbs out of timeout. Infuriating. Okay, I mean, that's a take. I think the alternative take is that RJ really didn't have a great game offensively. I love how he battled. I love how he persevered. I love his attitude. But this notion that RJ had it going, I mean, look, they're going under every screen. They're going under every screen on RJ Barrett. And he is not currently comfortable pulling up to make them pay for going under that screen. So when you have a perimeter, guy he's still shooting what he is at the rim, it's not great. It just, and he's not really comfortable, making all kinds of passes yet out of those drives. I'm not going to kill them for going elsewhere with their offense. There weren't any terrible Randall ISOs there late in the game. I know he did have the one turnover. If you hate it, you hate it. It's fine. I'm again, this is one of those things where I think reasonable minds can disagree. Blood of the Panther. No Obi Love. 8 points in 8 minutes. 60% field goal percentage. 60. I love he's quoting 66% from 3. Yes, he made 2 of 3 threes. No, he played a nice game in his first game back. I don't know what you want me to say. It was nice that he hit some threes. I like the baseline move. The baseline move was very nice. Yeah, it's a good game. I'm excited he's back, for sure. Zach Rudbear, what's going on, Zach? Now that I know who you are. He shot well, but when it comes to defensive rebounding, Fournier reminds me of my 41-year-old ass playing pickup games with 20-year-olds at the gym. It's fair. He doesn't do the other stuff well, but that's who he is. He's always an offensive first player, and if he's when the offense is going like this, it makes it worth it. When the offense is not going like this, he is not. He is the opposite of RJ Barrett, or not opposite of RJ Barrett. He's the opposite of Alec Burks. Alec Burks is a guy who helps you in a lot of ways when he's not shooting it well. Fournier is the opposite, which is why I'll always defend Burks. I have more trouble defending Fournier. Robert Cross, what's going on again, Robert? First time, long time, John. Randall's close to back in my good graces. That's good for you. I'm not quite there yet. Never seen a player like him up and down. Do you want him back next year? Again, it's tough to answer in a vacuum. I need to see the trade. If you're telling me it's an objectively even value trade, then no, I'd rather send him out. And I might be wrong about that. I believe Anthony Sixto. I believe in RJ, but there were late minutes where the floor was his and he failed to finish repeatedly. It's funny. This is the same. We watched the same game, and we have one comment here. There were late minutes there where the floor was his and he failed to finish repeatedly, and someone else said it's malpractice that he didn't touch the ball more. Where's the truth? Probably somewhere in between. Anyway, felt like a critical stretch for us. Yeah, he didn't finish well today. And he does get some tunnel vision sometimes. I went and rewatched the end of the Memphis game. That'll be done in a minute, okay? I went and rewatched the end of the Memphis game, and there are possessions where he gets it in his mind to drive it. And now that being said, there at the 33 seconds, whatever it was left in the Memphis game, had a great kick out to Burks in the corner. Burks missed the shot, would have cut it to 3. That was frustrating. That's a sign of growth. But that's what you're looking for with RJ. It's why I'm never going to get on here and kill RJ Barrett for having a rough stretch, because he's 21. He's 21. He's learning. He's growing. He's improving. It's all fine. And that's why I'm not even going to blame people for being give the ball to RJ Barrett at the end of the game. If you're a Knicks fan, there's really no downside to that. Because if he makes the right play and he makes the right shot and they win it, great. If he doesn't, well, he's learning and growing. So that's why I can never get too mad at anybody who's just give the ball to Barrett and come what may. But he wasn't great today. You live with it. Forgotten NYC. Simply no defending the Burks minutes anymore. Bad. Again, agree to disagree. The guy's not a bad player. He's just not. I'm sorry. He's just not a bad player. Didn't shoot it well. Hasn't shot it well this season for a while, although he's still good from 3. Shot it well the other night, actually, in Memphis. But, yeah. But people are tired of him, and, I don't know. The way the year has gone, I don't blame anybody. Okay. Let's scroll back up here. I hope I didn't lose anything. Okay. Caught up. Hush Zoo. Just shows why we should stay young. Knicks can't keep up with this win now timeline against the KDs, Kyries, Harden, Embiid, Giannis, and co. Randall's all right, but at the very least, his trade value goes up. Look, if they decide as an organization that they want to take a step back and they want to trade Julius Randle for bad money and a future first that might be unprotected, or 2 future firsts, one protected, or a swap and a first or whatever, I will be standing up and cheering. Same thing if they find a home for Fournier, if they find a home for Burks. If that's the direction they want to go, I will be the happiest man alive. I have to try to live in the moment and analyze the games on their face. But yeah, if you want to go in that direction, I'll be the first person to say yes, by all means, please. Hush Zoo. RJ, number 1 priority this offseason should be developing a legit mid-range shot. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. The off the dribble three, or not even off the dribble three, just the pull up. Just got pull. They're going under. Like they're going under every time. They're going under every time. Just you have to be able to make that pull up. But yes, the mid ranger is as important. I wish the ball was in his hands the last 20 seconds. Max RJ, build around RJ. I'm fine with maxing RJ. You still need someone on the team better than RJ if you're ever going to win anything real. That's fine. One step at a time. Robert Cross, what's going on, Robert? First time, long time, John. Money Mitch will accept 4 years at $15 million per. If not, he walks. Give me your call. And that is the impossible situation the Knicks front office has placed themselves in, where you're going to have a guy you could probably get $15 million a year from some other team out there. And if you don't pay it to him, he walks for nothing. And then you lose this asset for nothing. It's not a good place to be. If you're telling me those are the two options, either pay him $15 million a year or let him walk, Jesus Christ. God. I'm not usually at a loss for words. Oh God. Can I get like a non-guaranteed fourth year or something? Can I get some incentives built? Like, even likely incentives. I'm fine with likely incentives in the $15 million a year. God. Flip a coin. I probably sign it. I probably sign it. I hate it though. I hate it the second I sign it. Haitian Ferg, if Mitch asks for too much money, we can't just give it to. We can't just. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Can't just give him the bag. Sims is a solid consolation prize for a team that already invested bad money in Noel. I agree with that, but the reason I'm so torn on this is because if it's a number where you feel like we could trade him, I'm fine giving Mitch a contract with the intention of like, look, we're probably going to trade you within 6 months. Great, wonderful, awesome. I just don't know at $15 million a year how tradable he is, because like I don't know how much faith I have in him long term. I don't know how to say it. Dom Cappuccini, what's going on, Dom? I figured you would have lit that shirt on fire by now. No, I wore it today intentionally because I was like, you know what? Maybe we'll get some good national TV Randall if I wear this. And he was good. Continuing on our talk yesterday, it seemed like Julius will be easier to move this summer since the break. Also could see where the front office could consider giving him a second shot at this rate. Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. Thank you very much. Very generous, Dom. I appreciate it. Again, I don't know that I love the partnership long term, but we are back at the point where it's like, well, we were teetering for a while where it was just like, get this guy off this team. We're kind of back now at the point where it's like, it has to be a good trade. And it has to be a trade you really like. Hush Zoo, what do you think we get for Fournier? You can get salary relief. You're not getting anything good. You're not getting anything good. The trade that I have in my mind that, again, is a trade that on paper makes sense, that Knicks fans will hate, is Fournier, and it would be like the 9th or 10th or 11th pick in the draft for so Fournier and the pick for Brogdon. And maybe you're getting a second back in that deal, like that's what Fournier's value is. Like he could get you a pretty good player, but you're giving up something else, or you're trading him for like a not good player who is making less money and probably is an expiring contract. So like, do you want to, like, I don't know off the top of my head how many players out there are like expiring, $14 million contracts. But like, can you probably unload him to a team that is looking to win now for an expiring $14 million contract? Yeah. Can you maybe get a second round pick in that deal? Maybe, possibly, if it's a non-free agent destination. Do they want to do that? I don't know. Bernard Richardson back with one more. Shout out KFS and us, the schoolies. Yes, shout out to all of us. No, I'd rather be spending my Sunday afternoon in March. Let's go Knicks from Phoenix. Yeah, man, we could disagree, but we're all Knicks fans. And this is the best fan base in sports. I've said it before, and I will say it again, right? Yes? You're the best kid ever. Who else would sit here and let Daddy do this? Yeah. Do you want to say anything? No. Okay, I guess not. Basilis Papas. Macri, Andrew, and Jeremy, anytime this summer, come visit my beautiful island of Crete. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Free hospitality and food. I love you guys. Go Knicks. Go Olympiacos. Man, I don't know what flights for Greece are right now. I would love to go to Greece. I've never been. Sounds great. I like Greek food. If you have an extra, like if you have a spare guest room, we don't require a lot. Do you want to go to Greece?
Yeah.
Do you know what Greece is?
No.
Okay, good answer. Dom Cappuccini back with one more. If RJ can really perfect his pull-up three-point game, could you see him attempting one instead of penetrating before fouled with 3 or 4 seconds left? Absolutely. Let's full stop. If RJ develops a pull-up and it's a reliable pull-up that he could hit 35, 36% of the time comfortably, he is a top 25 player in basketball. Full stop. End of story. Done. No more conversation. Maybe, and that's maybe underselling him. Maybe he's a top 20 player in basketball. I don't know. But if he could hit it, if he could hit the pull-up, just like, again, I'm not even talking about like crazy off the dribble Steph Dame stuff. I'm just talking about if they go under on you, can you fire away comfortably and hit it 36, 37% of the time? Then we could have the first option on a decent team conversation about RJ Barrett. Until he can hit that shot, I'm not there. But yeah, absolutely. That's because of how often he gets fouled. If he can hit that shot and defenses have to think twice about going under, it's just game over. It's game over. You can't stop him. Jeremy E, what's going on, Jeremy? The number of non-calls RJ gets on a regular basis is kind of astounding. He'll get them eventually. That's why I don't worry about his efficiency numbers. Look, me and Benji talked about this on the recent Knicks Film School pod we did. I think RJ, when he forces the ref's hand, you know it. And look, we're talking about a guy who went to the free throw line 8 times today. Could it have been a few more? Sure. I think he still has another level to reach in terms of making the ref blow the whistle. He's not there yet. I think he's gonna get there. We know he's gonna get there. And that's why, again, when he gets there and the pull-up comes, again, game over. Cuse Girl. What's going on, Cuse Girl BK? I guess you're a girl who went to Syracuse and lives in Brooklyn. Is it realistic to address the point guard position while also acquiring a player who is better than Randall this offseason? So you're talking about doing those two things simultaneously? I don't know who they're acquiring this offseason. That's like, is Donovan Mitchell demanding a trade to the Knicks? And do the Knicks also get a top 4 pick in this draft? That's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough double act to pull off. They could probably address the point guard position. I'm thinking of ways. The first thought that popped into my head was like, can they get Randall out of here and address the point guard position? Like, I don't think like Indiana wants Julius Randle. Like maybe Dallas does. Like I wrote about it a few weeks ago. There's a way to do a Randall sign and trade, or sorry, a Brunson sign and trade where Randall goes back. It's not easy, but you could do it. Do you want to do that? I don't know. It's gonna be tough. What are you wagging your finger? Danny Gardner. Most top 3 guys get tons of touches their first 2 years because their teams suck and it lets them iron out a lot of the kinks. RJ may not quite have been quite ready then. We are seeing him get those out now. Danny, as always, with a very smart comment. He wasn't ready then. He is ironing out now, which is why, again, you'll hear me say a lot of stuff on these things that people disagree with and that people get mad at. The days of me being critical of RJ Barrett are done. He's shown me enough. He's going to get there. He'll be fine. It's just takes time. Ja So Focused. What's going on, Ja? Hey, John, first time, long time. How frustrating is it to start this game with multiple step back jumpers without passing? Eventually fixed, but needs to be for 48 minutes. Mostly good coaching by Tibbs. Yeah, the way they started the game was incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. I didn't love it. I didn't love how they started the first quarter. I didn't love how they started. They started the third okay, and then they went through a stretch of like 3-4 minutes in the third quarter where it looked like they forgot how to play basketball. Like, you want to talk about things that cost them the game? That stretch where they couldn't get the offensive rebounds at the end of the second quarter probably cost them the game. The stretch at the end of the middle towards the beginning of the third where they forgot how to play basketball for 3 minutes probably cost them the game. The stretch 11-0 out of the gate probably cost them the game. All these things cost them the game, and they lost by 3. Which is why, yes, this is a very frustrating loss. What's up? We're almost done. I'm almost done, I promise. What's up? Is that what you wanted to do? That's all you wanted to do? That's great. You're definitely my kid. Kevin Danishevsky back for one more. Your daily man, Quentin Grimes, would have helped take. Yes. Yes. Good player. He'll help anytime. Completely agree with Haitian about the adjustment, and I actually liked the timeout, though it didn't work. Yeah, no, it was a good timeout. Dom the dentist, what's going on, Dom? Hold on, I have to scroll back up for you. Would you rather these crushing losses at the end of regulation or get blown out and call it a day? I'll take the crushing loss. I'll take the crushing loss because at least it lets me feel good about my team. You know, I not the go ahead by 28 and then lose crushingly. No. Play well against a good team and then lose close at the end. I'd rather that than get blown out any day. Good question. Joseph John, what's going on, Joseph? Played well, but damn, do I wish ran a system that wasn't read and react. We'd flourish in something else. We're the easiest offense to game plan against. No, I mean, I don't think they're the easiest offense to game plan against. They are one of the easiest offenses to game plan against. They don't have great passers. Like, you need like an offense that I don't look. I've never coached the game, obviously. I've played the game since I was a kid. But like, in order to have a really sophisticated offense, you have to have smart players, first of all. And like RJ Smart. They have a couple other quickly seems like a smart player. Randall, I love Burks, but I don't know how's his hoops IQ. I just don't know if they've designed their roster that way. It's easy to say, run all of Golden State shit, but like there's the personnel issue. Do you have the personnel to make that system succeed? And again, I don't know. I'm just offering a counterpoint. You may be right. And then there's the other part of it that's like the dicey part, which is like, players like to play this way, I think, which is why, like, again, the Knicks don't have Kevin Durant, but like, there's a reason Kevin Durant played in Golden State system. Is like, fuck this. I'm going to play a team that lets me do what I want to do. Like, guys like to play like this. Like, I think you'll attract more players this way. Is that a prerogative? Is that something that needs to be a consideration when they have the roster they do right now? I don't know. Like, these are all tough issues and things to sort out. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just, as always, I like to bring just a little bit of diversity to the conversation. Not an unfair point, though. Anthony Sixto, some points for Tibbs today. Looked like we were running some more sets out of horns while rotating different guys into the action to keep it unpredictable. Yeah, I mean, he could call plays. He calls sets. How you execute those sets is really what it comes down to. And they haven't executed a lot of those sets this year. So, yeah, brownie points today, but still not great, larger sample size. Danny Gardner back with one more. Unless I'm mistaken, and you can't sub between free throws, why is Fournier in the game at the end when they're trying to stop an inbounds? Great question. I don't know the rule. Potentially worried about the guy that gets the ball, like, getting fouled. Like, I don't know. But no, that wouldn't make sense because they wouldn't foul them. They would no. I don't know. You have a good point. If that's a good question. I don't know. Adult donkeys, a time for turtles. I love that. Knicks have been victim of analytics. Defensive team that plays inside out and drives has been better than Kemba Fournier, dependent on 3-point shooting. It's a good comment, and they definitely went analytics heavy with their offseason acquisitions, and it did not work. And it clearly didn't work. Even Fournier, like when he has good games, like you get games like this where like he has an objectively good game, and like you still got people mad because he just doesn't fit with the ethos of this team. Kemba Walker never fit with the ethos of this team, and what made it worse was he's so loved and respected in that locker room that when it starts to not work out and you're like, okay, we got to go in a different direction. Guess what? It pisses people off, including the guy you brought in free agency with Kemba Walker. It was a shit show from the start. It was a shit show from the start, and it was a sign that this front office did not like they were, you know, what's the phrase? Oh my God, Canaan phrase. Too cute by half, I think. Yeah. Kevin Danishevsky with one more. Kevin, you're the man. I really appreciate you always chiming in on these. Seriously, dude. John, I wouldn't mind that trade. At this, I forget what trade I'm talking about, or what you're talking about, but I'm glad you wouldn't mind whatever trade I proposed. At this point, what I do for a point guard. However, if there's a way to get Fournier coming off the bench, let's do it. That's what he should be, but it's just, again, roster building. It's tough to have an $18 million a year player coming off the bench. It's hard. You can do it, but usually situations where that kind of thing is done is like, you know, a team gets a really great draft pick and like relegates someone that had previously been signed to the bench. Like, are they going to have someone come in here by hook or by crook that's going to clearly relegate Fournier to a bench role that he deserves? I don't know. Dom Cappuccini, we seem to bash on Noel due to overall ineffectiveness. Is it fair, considering it's obvious he hasn't been healthy all year? If we lose Mitch, a healthy Noel could be all we need next season. Again, I think these are two separate conversations. Losing Mitch for nothing would be front office malpractice, number one. Two, in theory, if Noel was healthy, could you survive with the center rotation of Noel and Jericho Sims? Absolutely. Should we have any faith that Noel is going to get healthy anytime soon? I can't answer that question. Not based on what we've seen this year. And like, I also think Noel is a perfect backup. He should not be starting. He's an incredibly limited offensive player. I don't know. I'd much rather they move on from Noel if they could find a taker. I don't know that they could find a taker, though. Junk Heart Athens. Hey, guys, Jim from Greece. Another one from Greece. Sats, there's a lot of people here from Greece. Did you just have another lollipop? Father of the year right here. Lots of Greeks here, LOL. 1 point guard and a stretch 5 away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Who is that point guard? Is that point guard John Morant? Is it Steph Curry? Is it what is Greece? Greece is a country on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. It's they're known for really old buildings and gyros.
What's gyros?
A gyro is like lamb or like, I guess, chicken or beef, right? With like Sazaki sauce in like a pita. It's really good. I wish I had a euro right now. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, it depends on who the point guard is. Like, again, talk about like middle of the road point guard. Like, if they got Brogdon this offseason, who I think is acquirable, and they also swung away. I don't know how much. What are you trading to Indiana to get them to give you Brogdon and Turner? Probably not going to happen. You know, like, is it a stretch 5 like Mo Bamba? Like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not quite there, but would this team benefit a lot from those two things? Yes. This front office can get us there. I love the faith in the front office. Sign Mitch, 4 for 54. Let's go Knicks. I do 4 for 54. I would swallow and do 4 for 54. I wouldn't love it, but, you know, you could do that. All right. I think we only got one more, and then we're out of here. Dom the Dentist, did we talk about Sims being a plus 20? Yes, I mentioned it. Great job by him. Great game from Sims. Man, wish we would have won this game. I really do. I would have loved to see them win this game and just be 4 back of 10th. They're 5 back. Atlanta's playing Indiana today. I don't know. Is Charlotte playing today? They probably are. I don't know. It's probably too little, too late. But it's nice to see them playing well. It's nice to see them turning a corner. And I will leave it at that. And new pod dropping soon. Until then, everybody have a good start to your week. Peace out.